I met Clara when we were just kids, 6 years old, running around the neighborhood, scraping our knees and laughing until our stomachs hurt. We grew up together, went to the same schools, shared the same group of friends, and somehow, through all the years and changes, we never drifted apart. By the time we reached college, it was clear. Clara wasn't just my best friend. She was the love of my life. She was ambitious, smart, and had this way of planning her future in a way that made everything seem possible. She knew exactly what she wanted, her career, her goals, even the kind of house she wanted to live in one day. The only thing I ever truly felt certain about was her. 3 years into our marriage, I still felt the same way. We had a good life. We traveled, enjoyed our weekends together, and had a great rhythm as a couple. There was just one rule we both agreed on before we even got married: no kids. Ever. And yet one ordinary afternoon, while setting up a new bookshelf for her, I found something that shattered everything I thought I knew about our marriage. The bookshelf had arrived earlier than expected, and I thought it would be a nice surprise for Clara if I built it and put her books up before she got home. I wanted to see her eyes light up, the way they always did when I did something thoughtful. For her. I started sorting through her books when I found it, an old, familiar journal. It made me smile instantly. Clara had always kept journals, future planning notebooks, as she called them. In college, she showed me pages filled with goals and dreams. It was inspiring. She had mapped out her entire academic path long before I had even figured out my major. I flipped through the pages, expecting nostalgia, but what I found instead made my stomach drop. 2 pages, full of notes on pregnancy, prenatal vitamins, baby cribs, and doctor recommendations. I stared at it, my heart pounding. This wasn't a casual daydream. This was planning. Clara wanted kids, and then another thought hit me like a freight train. If she had been researching this, was she already pregnant? Did she want to have a baby without telling me? I sat there, frozen, the journal still open in my hands, waiting for her to come home. When Clara walked through the door, she smiled at me until she saw my face. I held up the journal. Care to explain this? Her expression shifted. First confusion, then something I couldn't quite read. She let out a small sigh, closed the door behind her, and sat across from me. That was from a while ago. I searched her face for any sign of regret or guilt, but she just looked tired. Clara, I said, my voice tight, why is there an entire section on pregnancy in here? I thought we agreed. I'm not pregnant, she interrupted. That should have been a relief, but it wasn't. Then why would you even write this? Down? I asked, my throat dry. Do you want kids? Have you been lying to me this whole time? She bit her lip, looked away for a moment, then back at me. I didn't lie to you, she said softly. I did want kids. At least I thought about it. But I love you more. I knew how you felt, and I didn't want to push you. A knot twisted in my stomach. Clara, are you saying you regret our decision? She hesitated. No, she said finally. I think about it sometimes. I exhaled sharply, rubbing my face. Clara, if you wanted kids, you should have told me. You shouldn't have kept this to yourself. She looked down at her hands. I didn't want to lose you. That hit me hard. I reached for her hand, but she pulled away. And then, in the quietest voice, she said, I had an abortion. Everything in my body went still. My ears rang. My chest felt like it had caved in. What? The word barely came out. She swallowed hard. 1.5 years ago, I found out I was pregnant, and I terminated it. I couldn't breathe. Clara, you never told me, I didn't want to put that on you, she said quickly. I knew what you would say. I knew you didn't want kids, and I didn't want to make you feel like you had to choose between me and your beliefs. I shot to my feet. That wasn't your choice to make alone. She flinched. And for the first time in our marriage, I realized I was yelling. I had never yelled at Clara before. I didn't want to force you into something you didn't want, she whispered. That wasn't your decision to make without me, I shouted again, pacing the room. You say you love me, but you didn't even trust me enough to tell me the truth? She didn't answer, and I didn't know what to do with the anger and hurt boiling inside me. So I left. For a week and a half, I stayed at my sister's house. I didn't tell Clara when I was coming back. We texted, but only about basic things. I felt lost. I didn't want kids. I still didn't. But if I had known, if she had come to me and told me she was pregnant, would I have forced her to go through with it? No. But I wouldn't have let her go through it alone either. And that was what hurt the most. She had suffered, and I hadn't even known. Was I such a terrible husband that she thought she couldn't tell me, or had she never truly trusted me at all? When I finally went home, we sat down and talked. Really talked. We apologized. For the yelling, for the silence, for the way we had handled everything. Clara told me how scared she was. Scared of losing me. Scared of making me feel trapped. Scared that telling me would change how I saw her. I told her how betrayed I felt, not because of the abortion, but because she thought she had to face it alone. We agreed on something that night. No more secrets. No more making big decisions alone. Our marriage would only survive if we could trust each other completely. We're not perfect, and I still don't know if this will change anything between us in the long run. But I know one thing. Love isn't just about agreeing on everything. It's about being willing to fight for each other, even when it hurts. And I still love her. Maybe that's enough. For now, thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.